Hi, John Han here, and the Pulsing Cinema movie of the day is Paul Thomas Anderson's Boogie Nights from 1997. Oh, wow. Man, 1997, I remember... I watched this movie. I watched this movie on Halloween Day, 1997. It had just gone into wide release. And originally, I didn't like the film. I recognized that technically the film was a triumph. That the film, the cinematography and the production design, unlike pretty much and very few films I've seen before or since, transported me back to the 1970s. It was a film which it was uncanny, or transported me back to a vision of the 1970s. Just the way it felt, the way it looked. It didn't look like the late 90s. Definitely, it had a feel, and there are other films that are maybe somehow more accurate, or as far as production design, everything is in a row and completely accurate. I think David Fincher's Zodiac, his attention to detail and historical accuracy probably trumps Boogie Nights, and there are probably other films that trump Boogie Nights. But there's something about the way that Boogie Nights looks. It just looks like a film out of its time. It looks like it transports you back to the 70s. It's quite incredible. But I thought beyond the incredible look of the film, I felt the film was kind of hollow, and I didn't react very well to the film, but in subsequent years, I got the Blu-ray and I would attempt to rewatch it, but never really kind of seriously rewatch it. And then in recent years, it plays at the Alamo Drafthouse here in Austin very frequently. Seems like it plays every 3 or 4 months. I mean, that's how frequently that it plays. There'll be some kind of new gimmick or some way that they can fit it into the schedule, or they'll have a Boogie Nights, Lagunitas beer tasting party, or they'll have some new gimmick, some new food or beverage gimmick, and they'll somehow shove Boogie Nights into that, or they'll have a Paul Thomas Anderson retrospective or something. Whenever Paul Thomas Anderson comes out with a new film, they always have to scream Boogie Nights. And I eventually was like, man, I got to sit down and rewatch this. So I did rewatch it very not too long ago, very, very recently. And I enjoyed it immensely. It really was my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson film. Really, for me. I mean, really, I love The Master. I love There Will Be Blood. And I think There Will Be Blood is probably his most kind of mainstream type movie. The film that everybody can enjoy. Boogie Nights is a little bit, explicit. It's not something I would show to everybody. But Boogie Nights is still, it strikes me as just this great film, very emotional, very heartbreaking. A movie like all Thomas Anderson films about a group of misfits trying to come together and create a family. And really that's, a lot of what the Master and even Inherent Vice it could be about. And Boogie Nights, that's the central thing. You've got this main character, Dirk Diggler, that career-defining performance by Mark Wahlberg as just this young kid comes out of nowhere. He's picked up by the Burt Reynolds character and thrown into this social group, this social circle, And it's less of a filmmaking group and more of this social group that are trying to find a community and trying to find a sense of family. And you just go on their ride. The film is a long movie, but it doesn't feel like it's slow, or it doesn't feel like it drags at all. And it's funny. It's an incredibly funny film. And I think that's the one thing that many people kind of don't talk up enough. It is an incredibly funny film. The comedic timing of these characters is just so spot on, and the Mark C. Riley character as the Dirk Diggler's friend, and all of this stuff. It's so funny, and you get and it's a movie. Of course, it's a standard movie, the rise and fall of this character. vaguely based on the life of John Holmes. Though I even when it came out, I realized that John Holmes is mentioned in the film, so it is kind of a John Holmes, Johnny Wad type of idea. But in the universe of Boogie Nights, John Holmes does exist, Johnny Wad does exist, and these characters, are in the film are operating kind of, right against, John Holmes and Bob Chin and the real, the people that exist in this world. Julianne Moore, who had just kind of launched onto the film scene a few years earlier in Safe. She does another career-defining performance as Amber Waves. Roller Girl. Everybody in this film is just, and I love the opening scene where it's just you connect the dots and you get a sense of this group of characters, in the club scene. Even Luis Guzman and everybody in that scene, it's just a beautiful way to introduce all the characters and get us into it in a very efficient manner and very, very good. I don't know why I hated it originally, why I disliked it originally. I don't know what was going on with me. The ending of the film is, of course, in some ways kind of a fantasy, a Raging Bull type of, we're going to get back on the bull, get back on the eye of the tiger and go march forth. So it's a triumphant end. I think in reality, many of those people in that adult film circuit in the 70s and 80s didn't have that kind of ending. Man, just such a good movie. I don't know if you passed it by, if you didn't like it, I think give it a chance. Because after Boogie Nights, I saw Magnolia, and that was a real that one really felt like emotional pornography. It really felt like just all these scenes of people crying and Daddy left me and I'm estranged from my parents, and it was but fate and chance and blah, 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 But Boogie Night, and I've tried rewatching Magnolia, and it just kind of just gets all weepy and sad and ridiculous. But Boogie Nights is able to stay on task, and the scene in the recording studio with Michael Penn and Mark C. Riley and the whole "You Got the Touch." My God, that's just funny as hell. And the outtakes on the DVD and Blu-ray are just as they're even funnier. They're just I watch those over and over and over. They're just so goddamn funny. A funny movie, a tragic movie. So many great performances. Don Cheadle. Oh my God, man, I can't even go into even the tiny parts. Just so well cast, so well done. And just the perfect movie to start out your film career. Boogie Nights, great movie.